second, Jay, as we wait for the recording to start. You're good to go?
Sure. Sounds good. Thanks everyone for joining. Welcome to another Lunch and Learn session with Acuity Cloud Solutions. My name is Jay Kaduri. I'm a principal consultant at Acuity. And with me, I have my colleagues Vivek, Cami, and Sri. Together, we'll be presenting to you HCM Fusion 23C updates today. So we have a bunch of topics to cover. Like Sonia mentioned, we have a lot of content to go through. One thing I want to mention is that we may not have enough time to take any questions, so we'll probably skip questions in this session. But we always want to hear from you, so please feel free to leave your questions or comments or anything in the chat window, and we'll be sure to review those and get back to you after the session. So these are all the topics we'll be covering today. Like Sonia said, we did another session on June 30th in which we could not cover payroll and time and labor. So we are covering those up front, and then we may not be able to get through all of the topics. So we may cover only the important items under compensation, absence, benefits, and HCM Common, depending on how this all goes. But we'll be sure to record all of these sessions and share with all of the participants, so you have both the content in case you want to review and recap. So the first one is the human resources. So within human resources, the first topic is the area of responsibility usage. So if you're familiar with AOR and familiar with journeys, there is a checkbox called include in work contacts. Until 23B, you'll have to check this checkbox in order to utilize this AOR as a checklist user in the journeys area. So what they're doing with this enhancement is they're coming up with, two kind of enhancements within this one area. One is usage field is something they're adding to the AOR. So whenever you're defining an AOR, you can specify whether it belongs to a checklist or if it belongs to an approvals. So if you're defining approvals, you will only see those areas of responsibility that you have flagged as approval usage. And same thing for checklist, you will have to define whether the AOR belongs to a checklist or not by selecting the usage, by selecting that option under the usage field. So you don't have to explicitly use this include in work contacts checkbox anymore, unless you want that AOR to be a real work contact to show up in your directory or person spotlight and those areas. You don't have to use this include in work contacts. For journeys and approvals, you will use the AOR usage field instead. Documents of records, there are two enhancements here. One is the tags field. So they're coming up with a predefined list of options under the tags field for employment, identification, and legal. But it's a lookup, it's controlled by a lookup. So you can always define your own user-defined values and tag a document type to one or more of the tags. What these tags do is they will allow you to group and classify the document types, as well as allow you to filter the document types based on tags when you're actually searching for the document types. But I just want to mention that the search option is not available in this release. It will be available in future releases, but right now you can just tag the documents type to the specific tags that you want to tag them to. The second enhancement here is multiple occurrences check for documents of record. In the past, if you have multiple assignments in your enterprise, an employee has two assignments. Let's say you have an employment agreement you want to tie to each of those assignments. Assignment A will have one employment agreement. Assignment B will have another employment agreement. It was not possible in the past when allow multiple occurrences is set to no. You were only allowed in the past to tag a document to either of those assignments, not one to each of those assignments. But with this enhancement, if you have multiple assignments, you can tag the same document type, one for each specific assignment. The next one is the REST support for the employment fields. So there are a few additional fields added to the workers REST resource. As you can see, override standard working hours and adjusted FTE are now available for you to use. For journeys, there are three enhancements. One is controlling the search on the Assigned Journeys tab. In the Assigned Journeys tab today, you can search either based on person name or journey name, but they have added a profile option using which you can control it. You can control the search by using only person name. You don't have to use the journey name. You can just specify that your search is based only on the person name. The next one is the send reminder action. Right now, the send reminder action is on the checklist definition page. You can check that checkbox and send reminders on specific days or within certain number of days after the journey is assigned. But using this specific action, you can utilize this as a display setting. What this means is that when you set this display setting, you can allow the owner of the journey or the manager of the journey to send the reminder action. So it'll show up on your journeys page, and you can click on the send reminder to be able to send the reminder to the performers of the journey. The third one is open external URL on the same assigned journey page. So today, when you are using an external URL on your journey, when you click on the external URL, it actually opens up in another window. You'll have to perform the action, close that window, come back to the journeys page, and then complete the journey. But now they're allowing you to configure it in such a way that you can open the journey, the external URL within the same page. So when you click on the URL, it opens up in the same page. You can go back and then complete the journey, all by staying on the same page. Redwood experience is something you will see throughout this presentation, just similar to how Oracle migrated their environments from classic UI to responsive UI. They're now working towards this Redwood experience, which they're calling as next generation user experience. So what this means is that there will be a look and feel change for sure. And there will be a consistent application toolbar available to all the users. Search becomes easier and quick. And also, like, a lot of content is presented on the same page, so there will be a number of clicks. The mouse mileage reduction will also happen, which means you don't have to click through multiple pages. Because all of the content is available on the same page. Obviously, there'll be colors, fonts, and all of those formatting updates as well to make sure the screens work in diverse screen resolutions. So within Redwood for Core HR, these are all the updates that they have presented. You can, for any of these transactions, if you start utilizing them in Redwood, there will be approval support for employment contracts, eligible jobs, positions, and shared data access. You can also experience the Redwood pages in the pending workers page, as well as shared data access page. If you want to enable that and allow your users to experience those pages, you can do so for these areas in Core HR. And the next one is the workforce structures. Under position management, you can route approvals to parent positions incumbents AOR. Until now, you could only route it for the incumbents of the parent position or the initiators hierarchy. But with this enhancement, you can send it to the AOR of the parent position's incumbent. Within I-9, there are a couple of enhancements. One of them is automatically completing the I-9 high-right journeys task. When you're configuring the I-9 integration, until now, it's all manual. So you'll have to come back and manually complete the I-9 task. But with this enhancement, you have multiple automatic options available to choose from if you want to complete your I-9 automatically and save time and enhance the compliance abilities of your organization. The next one is additional values in the user reference section. In the past, there was only primary email when you are, again, this is when you're configuring the integration. User reference for section 2, there was only primary email as the option available, but now they have added 2 more identifiers to be used as user reference. So yeah, that's it for Core HR. So I'll ask Vivek to talk about payroll and time and labor.
Thank you, Jay. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vivek Lal, Principal Consultant with Acuity Cloud Solution, and working with Acuity for almost an year. So I'll discuss about the enhancement coming with 23C upgrades in global payroll and time and labor module. So in the global payroll, the first change or enhancement we see is payslip performance enhancement. Now the payslips can be generated more quickly as the Oracle has enhanced its method to retrieve payslip template, large or multiple templates for different languages. New payslips generation process is now quick and performance efficient. And the next enhancement which we see is now we can load only the updated absence entitlement information into payroll. This helps the application in reducing the number of absence and element entries created when the absence is updated, thereby reducing the volume and complexity of the retro-pay processing. So let's understand this with an example. If an employee submits an absence entitlement record for a week with 8 hours per day, the absence is loaded into the payroll application. Now employee updates the existing entitlement by another hour. Let's say from 8 hours, he made it to 9 hours per day. And when the absence is next loaded into the payroll, only 5 hours update will be included for the absence. If the absence has already been paid, then the retro pay process will identify the additional 5 hours and will pay it in the next payroll period. Jay, can we move to the next one? Yeah. So the next enhancement we see is offset cost allocation in distribution costing. Oracle has provided us the flexibility to view employees' assignment details for offset account of distributed costing. The offset cost results are distributed to all the applicable assignments, and the corresponding assignment details are displayed for each record. These details are displayed in run payroll cost result report and costing result page. We can see an example in the screenshot here. An employee has two assignments. One assignment, he's manager, and in another assignment, he's an analyst. In his run payroll cost result report, we can see the details has been bifurcated by the assignments. So as a manager, he had for the same element, and as analyst for the same element, he has two pay value created in the report. Jay, can we move on to the next one, please? Thank you. Now, next enhancement is generate paycheck task positive number validation. So now Oracle has introduced a positive number check on start check number and end check number parameters during the generate check payment task. So when we submit this generate paycheck payment task, it checks the value provided in these two fields parameter. The value should be only the positive whole number. It will not accept any decimal, alphanumeric, or any special character or comma separated value. If we provide any of these values, it will throw an error as shown in the screenshot. So the two fields again is start check number and end check number. Previously, this validation was not present, and you can see the error message displayed there. Yeah, Jay, thank you. So now global payroll Redwood experience changes. What we see is like Jay has already explained what are the Redwood experience. So we'll not talk about that, but we'll just see what payroll has been given in these experience. So the payslips and the payroll relationship, these are the two areas where we would see the Redwood experience. The basic place is moved to the Redwood toolkit with which we can quickly view and manage payslips. Redwood toolkit now enables us to access this page from the Ask Oracle page, include it in a journey, or enable the page nudges. And you can see in the screenshot. We can see in the screenshot the summary payslip information such as earnings and deductions amount using this page. And also we can preview the full payslip document held in a document of record embedded on the page itself. So in the summary section, you can see multiple drill down, which you can see in blue. So that gives another option to us to see those details on the same page. Can we move to the next one? Yeah. Now, Redwood payroll relationship page can be used to manage employee assignment records for payroll statutory calculation and the reporting purpose. This page can be used to manage employee payroll information captured in different sections of the pages, like basic information, assignment, payroll association, payroll assignment details. So these are the changes which we see in the Redwood experience as far as global payroll is concerned. So moving on, there are some more changes or enhancement we can see in Canadian payroll. So there are three changes which has come in Canadian payroll side. First one is data validation added for pending worker. Oracle has enhanced the existing payroll data validation report to include the validation on this data for pending workers for missing date of birth and work location. This report reports the exception of missing or invalid data that is required for payroll processing and reporting in Canada, even before the payroll processing takes place. So this validation helps us in many ways and keep us away from any sort of issue or errors. The second update which we see is the retroactive earnings and pre-tax use current province of employment after provincial transfer. So whenever some employee is transferred provincially, all his retroactive earnings and pre-tax deduction will be taxed based on the current province of the employment. And that will be done on the employee's tax credit information calculation card as per the legislative guideline. This supports the taxation of retroactive earning and deduction. Can we move ahead, please? The third enhancement we see in Canadian payroll is generating the employee active payroll balance report in Excel. So this feature offers the option to automatically generate the report in Excel. Earlier, only text format was the option as an output. Now Oracle has introduced that output in Excel format also. And this enhances the user experience since the user no longer need to manually convert the text file to the Excel. Report can automatically generate it in Excel sheet, and that can be used for further purposes. So this is all the updates which came up in 23C as far as payroll is concerned. Moving on to the time and labor updates. So there are not too many updates on time and labor side, so we'll just discuss it one by one. So first update we see is time total on enhanced time cards. So Oracle enhanced time card grid of reported time view will now show time totals such as total hours and schedule information. It will also show time totals for equivalent number of hours for absence measured in days. So if you see the screenshot here, on the left hand side, you will see the time card grid of that employee. So all the time entry done can be seen in the grid, and on the right hand side column you will see the total calculated hours, and at the bottom also you see the total calculated hours. On the right hand side screenshot you see the second capability which is mentioned. It shows the time total for the equivalent number of hours for absence measured in days. So the time total below you see it basically converts it from hours to days, and it can be displayed, and we can see the reporting in days here. Please move ahead, Jay. The second update in time and labor is the time entries that cross midnight on the enhanced time card. So now individual and managers can add their time entries that cross midnight on their enhanced time card. If they are not allowed to have the time crossing midnight and they or their manager enter such entry, it will error out and not allow the entry. So in the screenshot, you can see the employee who was not supposed to enter the time after the midnight, and if he tried to do the same, the system errors out and it will not allow the employee to save that. Moving on. The third update which we have is worker creation of enhanced time card. Now the individual can add enhanced time card using the add time card quick action. And I have shown this in bits of screenshots here also. So what the process is, just click on the add time card button, and then select the date in time card period that you want to add time card for. Based on the individual time entry profile, the individual will be able to pick the dates, and they can't pick the date beyond their profile configured date. And after selecting the date, you'll be able to see the period on the side of the calendar, as shown in the second screenshot. And for that period, when you click on add, the enhanced time card for the specified time opens. Jay, can you move ahead, please? The next enhancement on time and labor side is project costing validation on time card entry enhancement. This enhancement reduces adjustment by accounting for changes that might affect the entries being sent to the time consumer since the entries were last validated. So here we have a configuration that needs to be set up. So we can go to the administrator profile value configuration page, and in that configuration page, we have the profile option code created, and in that we need to set the profile value as no. So no means validate all entries. So doing this setup, we can make the system to do this validation. The next update which we have is setup of time and labor layout components and layout set enhancements. We can now set up the layout components using the single page only, no guided process anymore like earlier. We can also configure dependent time card field as a single attribute time card field. The value which will be used in the dependent time attribute field, such as state, county, city, and department, are now part of the time attribute choice list. The another update is web clock geolocation of for web clock, offline web clock. So geolocation information is now recorded offline while individuals are using their Oracle HCM cloud, and this is available in the upgrade 23B or later. So this enhancement lets us record geolocation information as a part of web clock event at all the times. Can we move ahead, please? So yeah, so in time and labor, as far as Redwood experience is concerned, we have two updates here. One is enhance existing time card page. So employee can now manage and print enhanced time card from new Redwood existing time card page. So if you see the screenshot here, you can see for an employee all the time cards present for him, whether it's a saved one, submitted one, or the approved one. So on the action, we have two options there. There's edit and there's a print option. So we can use this print option to print the enhanced time cards. Next, please. Okay, so now change request for time card entries. So with this Redwood experience, now employee can use the request time changes page recreated with Redwood toolkit. So in this, what we can do is we can add a new entry or modify an existing time entry in the request time change page. The page now displays badges to identify newly created entries, not yet submitted for approval, or entries already submitted for approval. So let's have a look at the screenshot here. So Jay, can you just do a control and up and enlarge this screenshot, please? Control or scroll the mouse up. Yeah, so on the left hand side, there's a button new. You see this badge, new badge is created. So when the request time change, we can add the time entry here. And when the time entry is added, you see here, there's a new badge for this time entry. And on the second screenshot, what we see is we can get inside the already created time entry there, and then we change the start time from 8 a.m. And stop time was 9 a.m. earlier. Now we are putting it as 10 a.m. And then this form or this page can be submitted for the change request. So this is all we have got in time and labor module, and I believe we are done with the time and labor. Jay, handing it over back to you for talent management.
Okay, thanks, Vivek. Okay, for talent management, there are a bunch of enhancements, as you can see in this table. There are some of them that are delivered disabled, as you can see here with this check mark. In order to utilize that functionality, you'll have to perform certain actions to enable those features and start utilizing them. There are a few enhancements that are already become enabled, so you can start utilizing them right away within the application.
This is our Tangiero rug collection. Tangiero is an elevated take on a classic Moroccan rug.
Hey, all right. Okay, so moving on. So for the talent management, the first one is the default goals sort order, which is controlled by profile option. In the past, it is controlled by the display sequence. But right now, in the new release, you can utilize any of these options to use as the goal sort option. For example, if you want your goals to be sorted by your goal status, for example, like, if you want all the not started ones at the top, in progress ones in the middle, and completed ones at the bottom, you can use the goal status as the sort criteria, and it is controlled by profile option. The next one is the talent review filter enhancement. The field is already available. The enhancement is the new addition to it. In the past, when you are searching for something using the management level, as soon as you put, you'll have to know the full name of the string. Like if you're searching for a senior manager, you'll have to know that that's one of the management levels available for you to select in order to retrieve the results. But with this enhancement, you can just do a partial search. As soon as you put the word man or manager in it, it'll tell you what are all the options available, and you can pick and choose which ones you want to search for, and the search results will display just that one option. It is also a setup that you need to do to enable the management level. You'll have to go into the configure talent review dashboard options. You'll search for your review template, and in the filters section, you'll have to select the management level. This option is for the potential assessment questionnaires. Again, for talent review, when you're doing talent reviews and utilizing the potential assessment questionnaire to allow managers to answer a questionnaire while assessing the performance or the talent of their employees, there is an option to enable the questionnaire configuration allows you to enable additional comments checkbox. When this is enabled during the configuration, when the managers are entering or filling out the potential assessment, they'll see a comments checkbox being enabled as shown in the screenshot here. They can update those comments and delete them until they submit the talent review. But once it is submitted, they will not be able to make any modifications to it. It goes to the facilitator, and facilitators can actually view the comments entered by the managers while conducting the meetings. Right now, with this release, that comments field is currently not available in OTBI. It's slotted for future releases at this time. The next one is the succession management organization chart. Again, the org chart is already available in 23B also, but what the difference is you can, in 23B, you will see all of your direct reports with plans and without plans under one tab. But with this enhancement, you will see two different tabs, one for directs with plans and one for directs without plans. So it's more clearly differentiated who has succession plans and who doesn't have one. This is also controlled by a profile option, as you can see on the screen. And you can also run this succession plan incumbents process to ensure all of the information is up to date on the org charts. Same like every other module, succession also has some Redwood pages enabled. Add to succession plan, create succession plan, and create talent pools and add to talent pools. All of these quick actions can now be viewed in Redwood. And there are profile options that actually controls the availability. So you can go ahead and enable one or more of these pages if you want to provide your users with that experience. These are some examples within succession management, what the Redwood pages look like. Some more. Under profile management, also a number of pages have been migrated to Redwood. As you can see, profile types, item catalogs, rating models, content section access, and talent ratings. And again, all of those are controlled by these profile options if you want to enable and provide your users with that experience. Mass recalculate performance ratings. In the past, when something changes in the section ratings, it was a manual process to recalculate section ratings and overall ratings within a performance evaluation. Now the mass recalculate option is available through HCM Data Loader. Deep link for all-in-one evaluations. All-in-one evaluations allow you to perform evaluations for all of your employees in one go. You'll see the all-in-one evaluations as like a tabular format, like an Excel. You'll have all your employees on the left-hand side and all the sections at the top. So you can rate all your employees on their competencies, goals, and everything within that one page. In order to navigate to that page, though, you'll have to go through multiple clicks. So there is a deep link available right now if you want to just avoid all those clicks and just directly navigate through them to the mass evaluations page. You can put it anywhere, and it simplifies the navigation. Deduplication of competencies and performance documents. So in the previous releases, there is a possibility that if you have a competency that's part of your person profile and the same competency is part of your model profile, you will see a duplicated set of competencies in your performance document if you're using competencies in your performance. But with this enhancement, there will be a check to see if that competency already exists either in your model profile or person profile, and it will the system will automatically removes the duplicated entry and just shows you one unique entry for that competency. And you'll have to run this synchronize person profile competencies process to update the competencies on the performance document. The next one is Oracle Grow. It's a new feature. If any of you are familiar with the Oracle Me Experience platform, this is something that sits on the top of Oracle HCM. Like, you have all your core modules like core HR, payroll, absences, benefits, recruiting, learning, all of these core modules. And Me Experience sits on top of it, which includes all your journeys, your digital assistant, your help desk, your HCM Communicate, touch points, connections, and now they have introduced Oracle Grow as well. It's a platform that's connected more with career development and learning modules, and it provides you curated learning playlists and also tells you what specific skills you need to acquire based on your job profile, your careers of interest. It looks at all of that information and provides you recommendations. In order to utilize Oracle Grow, you need to be on Oracle Learn. And then it's also helpful if you get maximum value out of it if you are utilizing skills, career development, job profiles, all of this talent management functionality to utilize the maximum potential of Oracle Grow. That's about it. Recruiting next, Cami.
Hi, thanks, Jay. Okay, let's go ahead and move forward. So we do have some look and feel enhancements that are coming through with Oracle Recruiting. We've got an activity center now. So when you go into go to My Client Groups, you can go to Activity Center, and it has a bunch of quick actions from right there. So instead of clicking into hiring and then clicking on the left-hand panel about what you want to do, you can just go ahead and go straight in and create a requisition, add a candidate, coordinate interviews, make an offer. There's a bunch of different options there. So it just kind of eliminates some clicks for you, which is nice. There's some candidate experience updates as well. It gives you a lot more flexibility in the layout and the design of the career sections. As many of you know, we've switched back to our baseline format for the career sections. So with that, they've given out some options. So you can have different headers per page. So if you've designed career sections, you know that you can have different pages within there. Previously, it was the same header across the top for all of them. Now you can do different ones. It gives you a little bit more flexibility. It can also be secured with HCAPTCHA, which is that little area where you've probably tried to create an account or something somewhere, and it shows you these little boxes and it says, highlight the ones that have a basketball in them or something like that. So that's what that is. And so you can put in that security to help eliminate any bots or anything else out there that are trying to get into your environment. They have active recruiting locations are pulled to the top now when you're showing a list for searching. So as a candidate, you put in whatever search criteria you have, maybe the beginning of spelling of something, and it's going to pull up all the cities, states, countries that actually have active jobs in it first, instead of just default alphabetical ordered list. So that's nice, so that they actually know where they can get some information and where they can actually find a job. And there's also some search engine optimizations based on keyword searches, domain verifications, site descriptions. You could add all that in as the administrator, as the creator of the career section, and so that your site comes up a lot easier when clients are searching just out on the internet, searching for things, and they type in some keyword searches or anything else, site descriptions. You can pull that up it will make it easier to find for the candidate. Campaigns, this is actually a good one. I like this one. So if you're not using campaigns, you should be. They're pretty awesome. So campaigns have always kind of been ad hoc creation. So as you build one, you have to build it new every time. This feature gives you the ability to upload and store images. So, and that's a big part of campaigns. You want them bright and cheerful and fun and engaging. And so if you get predefined images that you can use that are, are corporate reviewed and everything's good and we're happy with it, and then you load them in there, your users can just pop in there and grab whatever image they want to make their campaign pop and stand out. Okay, so that's a good one. So you don't have to load them up every time and try and keep track of them. So we also have some recruiter daily use enhancements, email verifications. Emails must now conform when someone is applying to RFC standards. So that helps provide a valid email address. So when someone first applies and they just type in the first part of their email with no ampersand or no .com or anything weird, and you can't get a hold of them and they look like a good candidate, but you don't have an email, this helps eliminate that. So it forces them to actually put in a correct format, at least. And we also allow recruiters now to double book interviews. So it allows for interview overlap, which is nice because especially for high volume hiring, you really just want people to get in, get interviewed and get started and keep processing through. This allows now for, you don't have to set up a whole bunch of time slots, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes, 5 minutes. You can actually put like a half-hour time slot and allow overlap. And so multiple people can book on that spot. Okay, so that's great. We also have the change where top candidate recommendations are going to go right to the top. So right from the beginning, you'll be able to see candidate ratings. So as you do a search, you can search on these attributes listed here, the profile, education, experience, and skills. And the top candidates are going to filter right to the top for you. And also from this list, you can go ahead and delete, or as they use the term, dismiss some of the people you have found. And what's really nice is this all kind of ties in back to making pools and also campaigns. So if you do a search of your current database and you find this great group of engineers that have a great skill set that you like, you can mark them all, move them into a pool. And from there, you can create a fabulous campaign pulling from your saved images and reach out to these people for some new job openings that you have. Okay, so it all sort of ties together to make it flow a lot more easy for you. Okay, so recruitment, candidate applications. This is a nice one. This is one we've been asking for a long time. Previously answered pre-screening questions can now be pre-filled. So candidate applies for job A and job A has 6 questions on it for pre-screening questions. They answer all of them, finish their application. They come back a little bit later, apply for job B. This one has 4 pre-screening questions. 3 of them they've already answered in job A. Well, those 3 will now be pre-populated for them with their previous answer. So fabulous, great ad. Yeah, clap for that one. That's a good one. Administrator updates. So for those of you who are administrators, you can now import and export specific career sections between environments instead of having to move all of them. This is a really good feature for administrators because in your lower environments, you may want to fiddle with your career sections, add some images, make some new ones, and kind of play along with it. But if you end up with one that's really the only one you want to bring over, previously, when you did the export import, you had to bring everything. So now you can just pick up the one you like and bring it along to where you want it. There's also now data purge controls of campaign email metrics. So this is a fun one. So if you, as again, you do a campaign, the system runs email metrics to see kind of who's responding, who's clicking, who's, to keep a track of all that stuff. Well, that's actually quite a bit of data. And if it sits in your system for too long, and if you really are active in campaigning and have a lot of them out there, it will slowly start to drag on the system. So now you can data purge that out. So you can set it up so every 6 months, drag that out of there, and so you don't have to worry about it anymore. And then control of country names to allow the admin to update the country name. This is an interesting one. So I really, being in the United States, we spell everything a particular way. But like the example that was used that I saw was the country of Turkey. Now we spell Turkey like gobble, gobble, turkey. But apparently Turkey spells it a different way. So it allows the administrator to go in and change our Turkey to the real spelling of Turkey. And it makes more sense for somebody who's from Turkey who's trying to apply for a job to apply and find their country. So that's a nice one. Again, I didn't know how important that was, but it's a good one. So a few administrator updates that we got going on. Quickly got through that. I hope you appreciate it. And now we're going to move, I think, to Sheree for comp.
Thanks, Kemi. Hello, everyone. I'm Srivalli Melacheru. I go by Sri, and thank you for joining. Today in the call, I'll be covering absence, comp, and benefits. And as Jay mentioned, due to time constraint, we will not be covering the HCM Common stuff, but that has been already done in our previous session. You can always feel free to refer to those recordings. Having said that, without any further delay, let's get into the comp. So on the comp side, there's only one enhancement, which is the view document of records along with salary on the employment information action page. So what does that mean is on the salary change page, if you're trying to find any supporting documentation that has caused a particular salary change, you don't have to navigate to a different screen. It's available right there on the same page as a separate section. And if there are no document of records for that particular change type, you will not see that section. So it's so convenient. And comp has quite a few pages which have been enhanced through the Redwood experience. They are recreated using this new toolkit. So they are automatically enabled by default, but you can always go back and turn them off using the profile options. So those are the only two things on the comp side. Absence has quite a few changes. Yes. So absence transaction approval date. So what does that mean? Whenever you are approving an absence, the absence data is transferred to the payroll. And if the approval doesn't happen on time or before the payroll cutoff date, the employee won't be paid. So, then there will be several reconciliation and trying to understand, what caused this employee pay delayed and all that. So in order to aid you with investigating those kind of non-payment issues, this approval date, which is exactly the date when the absence has been approved, is enabled to be able to report on. That means like BI Publisher or your OTBI Analytics can create reports based off this date, and this can help you with investigating those kind of issues. And it is also available through the REST services, and for any of your API calls, you have this field right now. Future absence processing option. So we have this feature already in the previous release. This configuration option was introduced in the config absence batch parameters page. And purpose of this option is to process all the future absences for all types, or any process for specific absence type, or any impacted absences that are part of any concurrent or shared plans. So this feature is already there, but with this 23C release, this functionality has been extended to include absences entered even on the time cards. So that's really the difference. Absence approval notifications delivered regardless of service status. So what's happening, what does this mean? Means previously, whenever the SOA server or SOA server, what you call, experience any downtime, whenever an absence is submitted, the application will not generate any approval notification for that submitted absence to the line manager. So the employee has to go and redo it when the server is back. But with this new feature, this application can register any certain server errors like this in the log file, and continue the approval process by generating an absence notifications for the manager or any approver. So what, long story short, with this new and enhanced absence approval process, it can generate approval notification for the manager even the SOA server gets down in the middle of the process. So the next one, support for rolling backward plan, term type, and multiple assignments. So with this feature, the rolling backward plan term type, which is used for entitlement calculation, right? Like, how, if you want to see how many hours of absence the employees is entitled based on, the plan term type, which is the rolling backward. That's possible in most of all the absence type plans, but with this feature or with this new release, this feature has been even extended to qualification plans, which was not there earlier. So that's what it means. I think it's the display feature, a display required field for attachments in an administrator absence records page. So this feature, what does that means is it displays a required field icon, which is like, asterisk. Whenever the attachments are mandatory, you will see a little asterisk symbol next to your attachments field, which was not there earlier. So, users or employees wouldn't know and will go and submit the absence, but then they will receive an error saying, hey, you need to attach so-and-so proofing document or, the reason for your absence. But with this, it's just a display thing. You can see that the attachments are mandatory for a particular absence submission with this new release. Next is automatic accrual recalculation with enrollment end date. So what does that mean? When you perform any manual adjustment to your enrollment end date, like you are unenrolling somebody, earlier you will have to need a job to run all the accruals until the end of the period. But now with this new release, whenever you're changing the enrollment end dates, you do not have to go and manually submit the job. It's already ran in background, and you can see the new accrual numbers, accrued hours on the screen automatically. Absence planning for managers. This is one of that great feature I felt coming in this new release. With this page, absence planning page, what it calls, it gives a timeline view for line managers to view all the upcoming absences, or what are the accruals for each of their direct reports. So it gives a nice visual page to review all the absence related things like the accrual or whatever the compensatory plans the employees or their direct reports are enrolled, and this helps them to manage the upcoming absences for a manager easily. Provide fast formula execution statistics. So this feature allows to view a detailed execution statistics of all the fast formulas, even including the custom fast formulas, what the consultants would go and build, even the standard fast formulas, which are part of the APIs, like the seeded APIs. So you can see the detailed execution statistics of all these in the ESS or the enterprise scheduler process output file. Earlier, this was not there. You would not know why is certain process is taking so long. What has caused? Is it because of our configuration change, or is something wrong with the Oracle process itself? We never would have known this, but this is a great thing. More detailed information means more help and to address the performance issues. So enhanced person selection for accrual processing. So with this feature, generally when you run any update accrual plan enrollment process, the application would calculate all the accruals for including the future periods automatically until the last accrual run date, whatever run repeating time period you have. So for all the future periods, it will run as of that date for all the employees who are active in the system as of that effective date. But it would never cater any future hires who are also falling in the same period for which you're running this job. But with this feature, even the future hires have been addressed. So when somebody is coming in, you have their enrollment and accruals run. Payroll interface update mode for transfer to pay. So, what does this mean? Like, there's a new mode in the payroll interface. Let me explain that with an example. So once somebody is taking a 3-week absence, daily entries are interfaced to payroll. So if the absence has been modified to end, like say 1 day earlier or something, all these daily entries were deleted and will be recreated. So this caused unnecessary retro-pay transactions, and that would complicate your reconciliation and has very negative impact on the performance of payroll calculation. But with this release, they introduced a mode called update mode for the interface process. So when you use this mode, the application just replaces only the daily entries which has been modified, and the rest stay intact. So that that reduces or simplifies the interface process. As well as in absence, we have quite a few pages which has been recreated through the Redwood experience. It has been listed on this slide. You can review that. I'll quickly finish benefits as we have only 7 more minutes and let do the closing comments. So benefits and service center, what we have is on the benefits service center, the dashboard page, you see all those counts as you can see on the screenshot, right? So this calculation of activity counts on this dashboard might sometimes lead to error due to high volume of data, but that can be avoided with this new feature. You can apply certain row limit on these counts. So the system will use only will do this calculation based on those row limits that we have set. It's a lookup that has been defined. That we have put in the slide also for your reference. So of all the features, I would say this is my favorite and long waiting one, which is testing and validating participant eligibility profiles. Because a lot of times we would create the profiles and we don't know which all the employees are being passed or ignored or qualified or not disqualified for this particular eligibility profile. Comp module always had something like this, but I wondered why it was never extended to other modules. With this new release, it looks like you can test your eligibility profiles on the plan configuration page for benefits. So you can test these profiles against specific assignments for a person, or you can choose different dates or criteria. The outcome is already saved to the log file. So whenever you are going and changing your profile criteria, you can always come and refer to your old log files and adjust your profile configurations based on that. And there are certain combinations of profiles that cannot be tested, and it's listed on the slide for your detailed review. Well, the next one is enforce plan dependency rules. What does this mean? Like, an additional tab has been introduced where you can define the plan dependency rules as they should appear on the self-service page, the enrollment self-service enrollment page. This ensures participants don't enroll into offerings without enrolling into the relevant dependent offerings first. So an error message will be thrown whenever the employees are saving the enrollments if they're not, enrolling into the dependent ones. Earlier, these type of validations were being handled through fast formulas like post-edit, fast formulas, all those sort of things, which is more technical. And now you can avoid it by just simply, filling this few fields and establishing those dependencies. Another feature that has come in this new release is this comparison of eligibility profiles between various zones. This enables, the system can do the comparison. You can eliminate the need to manually compare them. And this can be a lot of time saver. And also on the benefits data loader side, we have quite a few objects that have been enabled or extended to be able to automate it. Like, the data loading aspect can be automated through HDL for all these different aspects. Like one big thing I would say is the benefit standard rates, extra input and variable rates, which was otherwise a tedious process to go and do it manually each and every time. So all this has been enabled or extended to be able to upload through HDL data loader. Also, you can you can use a new HDL loader to approve and close any outstanding certifications during enrollment window. This again is a great enablement, and also you can when I say a certification, that includes evidence of all your insurability documents and proof of good health, birth certificates, anything of that sort. You can approve or close them through HDL. So on the benefit side, these are the following few pages which have been recreated through a Redwood experience. So you, as mentioned, you can always turn them off if you wish like to go back to your previous views. So that's about on the 3 modules. I would let Jay to finish on the closing comments, and please feel free to refer to our previous recording for the HCM Common features. Thank you.
Yeah, so thanks, Sri. So we are at time now, so we won't be able to cover the HCM Common. You can refer back. We'll send you the recordings from both the sessions. So this has been explained in detail in the previous session. So you can review that there. So yeah, so this is our contact information in case you have any questions or comments or anything else that you would like to talk to us about your, enhancements, or if you're looking to work on newer things, please feel free to contact us. You have all our information here. And then these are our upcoming sessions. We have 3 more sessions scheduled for next month, a couple of them in August and 1 in September. All of them are around Taleo. A couple of them are for Taleo to OR. We'll be covering the functional considerations as well as technical considerations for moving from TE to HCM or recruiting cloud. We'll also be talking about decommissioning of Taleo in the 13th September session. So all of that information is listed here. So with that, that's all for today from us. I hope you have learned something through these presentations, but like I said earlier, please feel free to leave your questions or comments, and we'll be sure to review them and get back to you. Thanks everyone for joining.